Sure, your man might have a demanding job and lots of distractions, but he should definitely be giving you attention too. If you've ever felt like you needed more attention, you're not a priority with him, but you didn't know how to get it without appearing needy. Well, are you not getting enough attention? Let's get some reassurance without being needy. This video is for you. Let's go. Hey, it's Cavallo from datingfire.com and datingadviceguru.com. Welcome back to the dating and relationship secrets you need to know. Now, almost every woman has gone through the experience of wondering if she is being neglected or is she just being needy. And then there's this guilt and a ton of other confusing emotions that get mixed in there. You've got to be able to tell him that you need more attention, and without seeming like you're being too much. You don't want to appear needy, but you do have needs. And right up front, I want to tell you and let you know that's okay. So tip number one, it's okay if you need more from your relationship. The most important thing you can do right now is to feel comfortable knowing this fact. If you waffle around being uncertain, you won't get the respect or the attention you need. And this leads me to the next tip. Keep your eyes open in case you are being needy. See, every woman gets a little bit needy now and again. That's not a problem. And if your man seems to be a little too sensitive to this common need for women, in other words, to occasionally be a little needy, well, he probably hasn't had very many serious relationships. And this is actually one of the first indicators you need to look for in a man. If he's been around the block more than a couple of times, he should know this, right? He should know that women occasionally go this way, and he should expect it, and he should be able to deal with it on his own. If he acts too freaked out or too sensitive about it, you've got some work to do with him. Okay, next tip is check in and make sure you aren't an anxious person in relationships. Now, typically people are either anxious or avoidant when it comes to a relationship. You don't want to be on either end of that spectrum, okay? If you know that you tend to get a little bit needy in relationships, go ahead, get some counseling, get some therapy, get this thing talked out and worked out. It's not going to get better on its own, okay? And chances are it has some connection to your childhood. See, a man can be understanding and work with you on these issues, but it's your responsibility to take care of any trauma or deep anxiety that you've got. Next tip is when you don't get enough attention, that's a problem. It's a serious problem. When someone doesn't give you the attention you deserve, you will feel like you're being taken for granted, like you're not worthy of being loved. You're going to feel insignificant and disregarded. Keep in mind that most men don't understand that they have a working role to play in the relationship. Whether or not he needs it, a man needs to understand he does have to help maintain your relationship connection, okay? It's never a problem with you and your girlfriends, right? Because your girlfriends get this. They understand the connection need you have. But men typically don't seek out the same kind of friendships and connections with other guys. So it's up to you to explain to him what you need. Don't get squeamish here and don't start chickening out. Put on your big girl pants and step up to the plate. He needs you to motivate him towards his better behavior and his better self. Next tip is, why isn't he giving you enough attention? There may be legitimate reason here. If it is a sudden change, though, you should suspect that there's probably some major issue that's come up in his life. Men don't typically talk about this out loud at first. We want to work out our issues in our heads all on our own, so he may not tell you about something that's going on with him in his life. It's up to you to pry a little bit. Get in there. Wedge yourself into his emotional life in a compassionate way. It's up to you much of the time to get your man to talk to you about the deeper issues that he has. He simply won't do this on his own, and very often men rely on women to help us talk about it and bring it out. Next tip is figure out how you communicate your needs. If you haven't really communicated your needs to him and you expect him to read your mind, yeah, this is a thing that many women do. If you haven't told him what you need, you can't expect him to give you what you want. See, men literally do not speak the same emotional language as you. So get over this desire you have for him to show up like a character in a romantic movie or one of those romance novels. Guys are even worse off these days when it comes to relationships and knowing what you need and how to tend to you. So he needs your help. The next tip is compatibility. As I mentioned, you might have a problem with compatibility in your relationship. You do need to understand if there is a problem there because, well, sometimes men just shrug and decide that whatever is wrong in the relationship means you're just not compatible. You don't want him making that decision on his own, do you? Even, especially if you are compatible. If you're having problems in your relationship with regard to getting attention, there might be a problem with compatibility or the perception of it. And by the way, I've got a quiz that can help you figure out if this is part of the issue. Just go here, go to datingfire.com/compatible. Find out where you might have a compatibility problem. So if you want to get attention from your partner without appearing needy or insecure, here are 3 quick steps. Now, I already mentioned the first one. Step 1, you got to know what you need. Identify the things in a relationship that you need and make sure that they're written down. Amazingly, 99% of all women I have ever coached have never written down what they actually need in a relationship. Simply figure out which things you want in a relationship and which things you need, right? Wants and needs aren't exactly the same. There are certain things you can't negotiate or compromise on. Things like honesty, respect, integrity, being faithful, those are needs. Without those things, you can't have a relationship. Step number 2, make sure you are fulfilled already. A relationship should never be the thing that completes you. Yes, I know, I watched Jerry Maguire, I love that movie myself, but it is inherently needy and insecure to rely on another person to complete you. Make sure you take responsibility for your own well-being. You need to be healthy on your own first. Don't rely on another person to fill in the gaps and empty places inside your soul. The unfortunate thing about relationships is that they tend to be created out of codependency. One or both people feeding off of each other instead of fulfilling each other. Don't start a relationship from scarcity or lack. All right, step number 3 is to speak your mind, even if your voice shakes. You got to tell them what you want. You got to tell the guy what it is you want and ask for it if you want it. A very unhealthy habit that women have in relationships is to push the blame for not getting what they want over to the man. If he doesn't know what you need, how can he give it to you? And if he does know and does not give it to you, then it makes it easier for you to move on to some guy who will, okay? Just make the simple request of him. Hey, can we just sit home and watch a movie tonight together? If you find yourself having to go out with his friends too much, that's a good thing to say to him. Or maybe, hey, let's go for a phone-free walk this weekend at Silver Falls. That's if he's on his phone too much when he's around you. These are very simple ways to do this, right? These are simple ways for asking for what you want. And I want to add in one more step here. Be authentic. Be true and honest to yourself when it comes to this stuff. Most people have difficulties in life because they're not being truthful about what they really need. They're not even being honest with themselves. Self-honesty is the first step in a happy life. Self-delusion is the first step on the path to misery and depression. So tell yourself the truth. Even now, be willing to tell yourself the truth about your understanding of men. Most women don't really understand men. When it comes right down to it, they don't really get how guys think. If they did, they could use it to create the kind of relationship they want. Now, if you want to do that, if you want the relationship that you've always been looking for, I have a great way for you to do it. Go here. Go to datingfire.com/obsession. For a limited time, I'm also including my complete guide to men. It's called the Understanding Men program with my Passion Phrases program. You're getting 2 complete programs for the price of 1. Look, it's time you finally understood men. Don't pretend anymore. Discover your power with men to create the relationship you want. Go to datingfire.com/obsession. And hey, before you run away to the next video, even if you're new here or if you're not, do the big 3 before you leave. 1 is to like and subscribe. You can get these videos every single week. Number 2 is to turn on notifications. Just click the bell icon, or depending on where you're watching this video, just click on the subscribe so you know when I'm going to release the next video and to get notified about it. If you're already subscribed, of course, please just share this with other women. I give away all this great info and I'm at risk of being buried in YouTube. You've got to help other women know that I'm around. Number 3, make sure you comment below. Did you agree with these tips? Is there another video that you want? Do you want a part 2? Let me know and I will give it to you. Don't forget, wait a few more seconds. I'm going to put a recommended video right here in the corner for you to click. This is Cavallo. As always, live and love with passion.